Hello everyone, this is Bill with a weather and climate briefing that is going to cover what occurred during the month of April, followed by an outlook into May. If you remember, April started out very cold, and we do mean extremely cold. This chart shows the departure from normal daily temperatures at Fargo, North Dakota. The blue columns signify days which were colder than normal. The first 8 days of April were nearly all 20 degrees or more below normal. This is another way to look at the information from the prior slide. This time, daily highs are shown at the top of the red bars and daily lows are shown at the bottom of the blue bars. For example, on April 3rd, the high at Fargo was 18 and the low was 4. The red line represents where normal daily highs should be, and the blue line shows where the normal daily lows would be. The 18-degree high on the 3rd was colder than the normal low. The 18-degree high on the 3rd was a record low high temperature, as was the 20-degree high reading on the 6th. Here were the highs on April 6th. It was a little warmer in the northern Red River Valley because there was not as much snow left on the ground. The coldest temperatures for selected cities during the first 9 days of April are shown here. Park Rapids had the coldest reading at 5 degrees below zero on the 8th of April. It is hard not to remember that cold. Here is a scene of drifting snow along the shores of Devil's Lake from early April. From April 10th to the 16th, it got a little warmer. Instead of 20 degrees below normal, it was more like 10 degrees below seasonal averages. High temperatures during this period rose above freezing, but lows still fell back below freezing at night. The black line denotes 32 degrees. There was a slow and steady snowmelt during this period of time. To close out April, there was finally some moderation in temperature. A few days were actually above normal. By the 18th, highs were getting into the 50s and 60s, while lows generally held around or above freezing at night. This did help to accelerate the melt of snow. Here are the warmest temperatures during the mid to late April warmer stretch. Before the snow began to melt, visible satellite imagery showed the deepest snow from the central Red River Valley into northwest Minnesota. The Red River and Grand Forks went from an ice-covered body of water on April 13th to a flood on April 22nd. Satellite imagery showed normal river levels on April 3rd to flooded levels by April 21st. The city of Oslo had some moderate flooding, while the Goose River at Hillsborough was affected by tree jams. Overall, flooding was fairly isolated and short-lived. Fargo only had 0.04 of an inch of rain from April 12th to the 30th, a very dry period. Also of note was the lack of much fog during the snowmelt. The stretch with minimal rainfall increased the fire danger. Afternoon humidity levels were affected by melting snow in the central Red River Valley and parts of northwest Minnesota. However, areas in red on the right graphic showed where it was much drier. The moderating mid to late April temperatures also affected the soil temperatures. Look how the red, yellow, and green lines all begin to rise by late April. By the end of the month, the red line or 2-inch soil temperature rose to 42 degrees. Looking at April as a whole, the average monthly temperatures for the 5 sites shown here were all well below normal. Fargo ended up tied for the 6th coldest April ever. Precipitation totals were all below normal. The Devil's Lake, Baudette, and Park Rapids precipitation totals were probably too low, as readings are unrepresentative during the winter season. And this graphic indicates that minimal amounts of snow fell across the area. Now let's look ahead into the month of May. During May, normal highs and lows continue to increase, as well as the normal precipitation. Here's the good news. You can actually expect to gain more day length, generally over an hour of additional length of day during the month of May. Many different types of weather can occur in May across our area. However, thunderstorms begin to appear again, which also bring the possibility for some severe weather. This is the Climate Prediction Center's May temperature outlook. For eastern North Dakota and the northwest quarter of Minnesota, these outlooks favor a low probability for above normal temperatures, but at least that is above normal. This is the Climate Prediction Center's Precipitation Outlook for May. For most of our area, the outlook shows equal chances for above normal or below normal precipitation amounts, meaning there really isn't any good signal to figure whether we're going to have above, near average, or below average precipitation. Here is our latest photo of the month winter. It shows a colorful sunrise over a wetland. That concludes this weather and climate briefing. We thank you so much for listening.